Alhamdulillah, Brahmin, all praises, thanks, and adoration is due to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Alhamdulillah, Brahmin, it's indeed another beautiful day, beautiful morning, day 12 of the month of Ramadan. Which of the favors of Allah will you deny? Definitely none. We thank Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala for His mercies. Okay, Alhamdulillah, Brahmin, and at this point, you know what we do next. It's for us to join our mashallah sisters. Parenting part 1 was yesterday, and today we're looking at part 2. Ajabal Keys, Aja Miriam and Aja Miriam. Yes, Miriam Square and B. They are around and they are going to continue from where they stopped yesterday. Part 2 of parenting. Bismillah.
Passing.
Ladies, have you thought of the leggings you mentioned reminded me of something. And these are my experiences, subhanAllah. These are things I have gone through. I'm sure you guys haven't gone through, except if you live in communities where everybody is so open, everybody is. Oh yeah.
I already feel what you're about to say.
It's in communities where the leggings part brought me to this point,
yes,
where you let your daughter put on her leggings, and then step out of the house. I mean, it's within the compound, within the confines of the compound. I mean, the gate is shut and all of that. And people in your community pass and then see your daughter in that compound. She's not outside of the compound, but it's still outside of your sitting room or it's outside of your apartment.
Yeah. And
then they see her without a hijab, leggings, and maybe a tank top. And then they meet you at the next hall and looking at you like, oh, Assalamu alaikum, how are you? And they go, I saw your daughter the other day.
Oh my God.
And she was
really
inappropriately for her age. And you're wondering.
I did not.
I
don't know what to say to that.
And you're thinking, I have raised her, bi'idhnillah, up until this age, without support, without help, except from Allah, and you can walk up to me to tell me my daughter is inappropriately dressed. What is your operational definition of appropriate dressing for a young girl who hasn't even got close to the age of puberty?
Well, I really don't know what to say to that because I do not belong to such circles. So I don't know how to approach such things. But I would think that the person is just what are you saying? Yes. What do you want?
Sometimes it's not being petty. Sometimes it's because they do not know better themselves.
Oh yeah. Then you educate them.
Sometimes it's because they do not know better because they think as a Muslim or as a Muslimah, if your daughter is going to grow up to become a responsible Muslimah, responsible being their definition of responsible, then she has to dress in a certain way, speak in a certain way, and attend a certain school, and not mix with a certain gender, which of course we keep within the limits. But kids will be kids. You want them to have the social skills. You want them to have the networking skills. You want them to be able to see people who are non-Muslims and be able to say hello, or good morning, or how are you, and be
free with them.
Children that they are. But when you raise kids who do not know how to say anything other than Assalamu alaikum to even non-Muslims, and they, on their part, do not know how to respond to that.
Yeah.
What are you doing?
What
are you doing? Who are you raising? Are you raising them for you or are you raising them for the society? Because what you should be doing is creating or developing antivirus and creating a balance. Exactly. A balance.
You know, what you just said made me chuckle because my kids, we stay in an environment where we have lots of, people from other tribes and other religions. And when they see one of our neighbors, they'll say, Assalamu alaikum. Say, no. It's good morning, good afternoon. So you have to know how to say Assalamu alaikum, good morning, or Assalamu alaikum, good afternoon. If it is a Muslim, that a person responds to you, Wa alaikum assalam, good afternoon, how are you? And if the person is a Christian, they just say, oh, good afternoon, how are you? So I think I just recall now when you said
It is
something
a
like
big
we have
issue
to be
in the
able to raise
community.
kids that
In
are conscious of the environment, because this is not a strictly, Islamic country
And
or
conscious of
state.
emotions and feelings of others. Because if
Yes.
you raise kids who do not know how to say other than Assalamu alaikum, or kids who do not know how to say hello to people who are non-Muslims, then they are perceived on the other side as arrogant people who only see themselves as superior
Exactly.
to the others.
And
Now, we
even
know
in
who we
extreme
are.
cases, they're not even perceived as arrogant people now.
Or
They're
just people
perceived
who are plain
no,
illiterate,
not
or who are
that,
unable.
as illiterate, as yes, and also as fanatics, as terrorists. You know the list
Extremists.
exactly. As
Because
extremists.
they do not mix, because they do not know how to have the right kind of
So
conversation.
we have to find, we
And
have
that's
to try
because
to
we have
balance.
shielded them long enough.
So there should be a balance. It's upon us as women, actually. The bulk of the job, like I always say. I feel this period of having to take care of them myself more, because the father has always been the one who, he was the one doing the
Runnings
bulk.
around.
Exactly, because I was in school. So now it's more like I just have to do everything. And alhamdulillah, with the great support system, I have my family, his family too, my late husband's family. So fine, but how about others that do not have such opportunity? So I think but I know that in this age, women have, they're running away from and shying away from yes.
You mean shying away
they-
from responsibilities?
as a mother, yes, they are.
I don't understand that.
All in the name of, we know this. Come on. Feminism,
There are
equality, all of this.
women.
So
Wait, hold
kind
up, hold up. Wait, you said something about equality?
yes, the kind of, we know this. Come on, mama. You know this. We know that we
Not
often
everything.
time
They'll say it's
more
not
and more we
everything
want
that
to
a woman has
should
to do.
You
I get your
understand?
point.
So instead of knowing that, regardless, this took me a while to also come to terms with. I wanted to just, go on ahead, go on out there and be me, pursue my dreams, just be adventurous, just do something. But to family will be there, But now the reality has dawned on me. It took the loss of my husband, but then, alhamdulillah, because you have to be there for them. Now, I worry, okay, for a couple of days, if I would not be around for a couple of days, how would they survive? Before just say, oh, the daddy's there, will take care of them. Yes, you take care of them, because of course you will take care of them. So imagine if I had a husband who is also like maybe someone who doesn't have time, as I do. So what will be the fate of such kids? Of course. So what will be the fate of those kids? So I'll retrace just a few steps back. So the point is, as women, our jobs are cut out for us. We can be adventurous, yes. We can be free, yes, within set boundaries. But our children, especially for those who have children, they should always come first.
You should
Always come first. In our decision making, in our our choices,
The kids.
Yes. I don't know.
Our decisions,
you might,
how
you
it
might,
affects
you might
them, our
say
choices,
this.
how it
Maybe
affects them.
maybe the spouses too, but yes,
Yes.
that's on a different
I
level.
want to go on a vacation, for instance, like I have worked an entire year. I'm about to go crazy. I'm
You're
taking
still-
a vacation.
Oh,
And
You're
I-
still
and
going
I
to
really
have to
do need a
worry.
break
You're
to
still
be
going to
like-
have to worry where to keep them,
yes.
who to keep them with.
Yeah.
If
How
you're
they
getting the
feed, what they-
exactly.
what-
That's
how
the point.
they
It's
feel.
not about you like having to strut around with them everywhere you're
even
going
if
to.
there are,
They're
even
not
if
with
there
me
are
right now.
places you can keep them, you can just but you will still consciously have to worry a little bit.
Yes.
How would they cope without
How the
you?
faring without me.
Uh-huh.
I agree with that.
But do we think that it's only the women that feel this way? The need to constantly be there. The need to the need to really care for them, the fears, the concerns. Do we think we are the only ones that feel
This
this
brings
way?
us back to gender roles. Just as you
Which
said,
we're not going to take
just as
today.
you said, just as you said, women are shying away from their responsibilities.
More and more these days.
Yes.
More and more.
So some men do the same thing, like, it's not my job to do this, it's not my job to do that, it's their mother's job to do, and you know. So it just comes as, then the mother begins to feel, must I do this? Must I do everything? Must I? It just works in so many ways.
But I think there's a quick solution to that. It's about communication. You just, there should be an understanding between the spouses.
Communication for women who have been taught while growing up that you can speak up. We're talking communication, or are we talking communication to women who have been told that when your husband says you sit here,
You have
sit
to
there.
be a
Which,
subservient.
yes, you will sit there, but do you have an option to say, is it okay if while sitting here and I have the need to go to the loo, I can?
Do you
Just
think
sit
the
when it
women are
says
still?
sit.
Do you
No,
think
I don't think
honestly
most
the women
still
are
have-
still that
Yes.
wired? I don't think so.
Yes, there are.
There?
Are you sure?
Thousands, hundreds of them.
Oh,
Hundreds, running into tens of hundreds,
Wow.
thousands.
I don't know.
Yes.
It's okay to be,
Sing
to
them.
be
Live
obedient.
with them. Live with them.
It's okay
Yeah.
to to actually be a, what do they call the submissive woman, a submissive
Oh,
wife.
yes, being submissive.
It's also okay to let your partner know these are your fears, these are your challenges. You
Particularly-
need something. You want him to help you with this, or you need help, or you cannot do this alone. It's okay to say, I cannot afford to keep sitting for this long. I need to stretch my legs. As a matter of fact, I need to fly.
Yep.
But all of these things,
We
it
feel
takes wisdom. It takes a different kind of understanding and communication.
It takes-
you cannot
it
ask
takes
for
a-
all
it
of
takes
these
a
things
father.
in a
And
way
again,
where
it
you
takes a
stand like,
father
oh,
who
it's
is
my
as
right. I have
committed.
to.
It takes a father who is as committed
It's
as well.
a generational thing.
Yeah, I
Like,
agree with it.
our parents got something that they excluded from their parents' upbringing.
Yeah.
And we are going to exclude some things that we had from the way they brought us
How
up.
about we do
And then
not
it goes.
exclude
Yes.
it?
We
No,
keep
how about we don't
excluding
exclude
and
it? How about we don't exclude it and we raise girls that do not exclude the ones we raise?
there are
We
things-
teach them. How about we only learn how to manage it?
If you teach them not to, it means you're excluding it. If you teach them to, it means you're encouraging it. So what
do you
moves
find
forward
balance?
is only things you encourage. Not the things you say no. At some point you can, okay, I've been told not to do this, but I think I'm going to break a little bit of the rule and do this. Then you do it, and then it just keeps going like that.
Well, I think we can do better.
Until a child learns to find himself. Because that is where strict parenting comes. You don't, because once you are too strict with your kids, they go out there and they do the same things you have stopped them from doing.
Yes.
Okay, these are the things that I've been stopped from doing. Now I'm
Free, yes.
and I can do whatever.
Oh, it breaks my heart, sister, when I see young Muslim ladies from mashallah homes. The mother, the father in good,
And they are
standing, in
trained.
good moral standing, the dress well according to the tenets of Islam. And they were raised with this. They even went to secondary schools that are solely dedicated to them having all of the knowledge and understanding of the faith, how to behave, how to dress, how to do all of this. Then when they get to the higher institution,
Freedom.
and now
Sweet freedom.
how would you even find
Not
space for
because
them?
they've always
It
felt
breaks my
confined.
heart.
They've always felt confined.
It breaks
And
my heart a lot to the extent
Yes.
that because I have few of them in my circle,
it
and
definitely
it brings
because
tears to my eyes. Like this,
Because the parents
people-
will be like, I've done everything.
I try to
I've
imagine how the
tried,
mother
I've done
feels.
this, I've done that.
I
it's
have
not
pleased
my
them.
fault.
Now's the time
Exactly.
to please
Ah,
me.
subhanallah. I try to imagine how the mother especially feels.
Strict parenting.
Do you know?
And
like
it works with some people, but it doesn't with others.
It
It's-
works.
it
It
works,
works with some.
but not
it worked
all the
for. It
time.
worked for some, yes.
Yes.
Because I know that growing up, the way I was raised, strictness and all of the discipline. Although there was one thing that I really, really appreciated my dad for. I still appreciate him for that. You can explore. He left us, girls, you can fly. You understand? Explore, go learn all of the knowledge you can learn. His only major idea that I always stick my head, you can seek from here to China, seek from here to I don't know whether it's naive or whatever, but Shasha is about, you have to learn.
Knowledge.
You understand?
Knowledge.
So that was big with him. I mean, it's still very impressive when I see, his collection of books and all of that. But the strictness was still there.
Yes.
You cannot do anything. You cannot do
the
anything. You have to
strictness.
dress.
This thing
It helps us a lot,
this
though.
thing about doing your best to see that your children are very religious and all that. I would say that my from the very tender age, we have been to Islamic schools. We have been to. My father keeps, when I went to a boarding school, when you're going to school, remember the son of whom you are.
Can that adage ever leave the
But
Nigerian parents' mouth?
Yes. But then, out of all my siblings, I think, you see, when they say I've tried, my siblings, I can say, are more knowledgeable than I am.
Knowledgeable
Because
about what?
about this, the Islamic,
The deen?
yes, the deen, the knowledge. Like, sometimes they have conversations, I'm like, okay. I'm quiet and okay, I am learning from them, and I'm the eldest.
Wow.
So you see, this thing is about, it works for some people,
Yes.
and it doesn't work for others.
Ultimately.
And sometimes it's not about being strict.
yes.
Sometimes it's just about placing the right values. If you do that, you grow up wonderful kids. Even if they stray, they can stray a little bit and come back.
Yes. I
Go
agree with you.
and come, and
Yes.
then at the long run, they find themselves.
Most importantly, like I was saying, it is not even only about the values we try to instill in them. It is not about the way we communicate with them. It's not about how free we want them to be, how open we make them,
Be with us.
Be with us. It's not about how much we embrace them to be themselves. It's all about Allah's grace.
It's about?
Allah's grace.
Yes.
It is only by His mercy. I have seen children from homes where you cannot even imagine that the caliber of high-standing, high moral individuals come from, and you'll be like, wow. When the Yoruba people say something about a black thing, a white thing coming out of, from a black a pot. And I have seen some where, the family, the parents have the highest of standards. And then what is the outcome of the kids?
What are your last words on parenting?
Okay, parenting. It should entail us being just as strict as is necessary. Just as strict as is necessary, because when you're too strict, it goes.
Yeah.
When
Into
you're
the fire.
not, when you don't correct
You need to
anything at all,
relax.
you grow up children that are not what you want to see.
Yeah.
And then you'll end up blaming who? Because in the end, parents who grow up children like that. I know there are parents that try to be protective of children that have grown up to be wayward, that have grown up to be drug addicts, that have grown up to be, and then they're like, I did all I could. It wasn't me. It was, they tend to blame others instead of
blame
themselves. Or maybe trying to correct things, and they're still just making things go worse. So parenting has to do with finding balance between being strict and being
Lenient.
a lenient parent that talks Well, just having a balance. Just having a balance.
And on that note, we round up today's episode of Tea at Sahur. Join us again tomorrow, inshallah. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullah.
And that will wrap it up on the show today. Keep sending in your comments, contributions, and messages to our social media handles right now on your screen. And do not forget to subscribe to our YouTube channel. May Allah reward you abundantly. My name is Jibril. Follow me. Today is day 12. Do the needful and move closer to Allah. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi ta'ala wa barakatuh.